morning. We are coming to you live from that is plot 19 Weatherhead Park Lane. My name is Farish Majid, and it's a great pleasure starting off your day and your week as well. And remember, this is the week of women, and this is where we're also going to be celebrating. That is the Women's Day, which happens to be on 8th. And really, I must say, this week also, we are going to be celebrating women, and that means that you do not have to really expect that is a male guest, and that is one thing I must also say we are going to be doing this week. And remember, we are going to be bringing for you different guests, and these are all women in different sectors, ranging from education. We shall also be having one in agriculture and another in business, and really, I must say, all of them are going to be sharing with us the experience, and really, this is also where we are going to be having a normal interaction of really how they feel and really into how they are really prospering as women. Really, these are women, I must say, I call them as women of influence and really women of power, because they are doing really a great job that is to transform society. And remember, what usually they say, what a man can do and a woman can really do it better. That's saying I really want us to believe in it, and I want to believe in that gospel. So I think really, without wasting any time, we are already 32 minutes after 7 a.m. and that means that really we are past the normal time that we are supposed to begin, but we really do apologize for that errors there. Those are just due to technical difficulties, but now we are back. Hopefully, we shall be able to really interact with you up the hour of 9 a.m. But for now, really, without wasting any time, if I can be able to really introduce my guest, and she could be a surprise to many of you, and I must say, really, because many of you may not be knowing her, but really, she is actually one person who has transformed the society. What do I mean by society? I mean one of the schools that is actually known for a lot of things, and this is a giant school, a traditional school that is known for academics and other reasons, and really we have seen in her terrain, she's really changing a lot of things. That is at the great college, as they usually call it, the St. Joseph's College Ombachi, which is a great school, and really I do have the deputy guest, the deputy teacher as my guest for today. And without wasting any time, if I can be able to really also allow her introduce herself, because I believe she is the only person who can best introduce herself to you as the viewer. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. I'm called Juliet Ajiko, the deputy head teacher, St. Joseph's College, Ombachi. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I believe when you got the transfer, that is from Arua Public School to that is St. Joseph's College, Ombachi, it must have come with an experience. How was it like? Did you maybe get scared? Were you excited about it? And did you even request for this transfer? Because it's usually people get scared of moving to school. The stereotype about the discipline, which we have seen over time changing. It is no longer how it used to be like. We have seen the boys in the recently released UC examinations. We saw a great improvement, which was actually attributed to discipline. How are you doing it? Well, in the first place, I must say it wasn't an easy thing. From Arua Public, there was on board pay. My official employment was actually in Okoleses. In Okoleses, I was there for 2 years. I applied for transfer. I just felt the environment was not conducive for me. So I went to the ministry. I wanted to go back to Arua Public. So when the commissioner asked me where I was before, I told him I was in Arua Public. Somehow, he did not give me a straightforward answer. But later on, just to see my name in the papers, actually friends started calling me. I had not even seen. That, you have been transferred to St. Joseph's College Ombachi. I said it is a lie. It can't be, because I did not apply to go there. All the same, I had to go, but with a lot of fear. You know, people talk a lot about Ombachi outside, which is not the truth. Maybe it used to be some time back, but really, Ombachi is a different place. So I had to compose myself. Actually, many people discouraged me. Others were like, will you manage those boys? Will you manage them? I said, now, if my boys of Arua Public were like this, what about Ombachi? Will I handle it? But I always believe that whatever happens, it is God's plan. So I went. Actually, 1 full week I did not go to class. I was still preparing myself and all that. The day I took the steps to go to class, I said, God, help me. I have heard a lot about them. I just hope everything will move on well. Let me tell you, I've never regretted. Okay. From day one up to now, I think that is where I belong. But if I may be able to ask, if you're to make a comparison of all these 3 different schools, and these are different environments. Yes, yes. How do you maybe find St. Joseph's College Ombachi different from these 3 that you have been to? One, St. Joseph's College, Ombachi, life inside there is like more of life in the seminary. We have mass every day. That is one thing that distinguishes the school from other schools. And then secondly, really you don't have to struggle explaining yourself in class. These are students who are, you can say they are bright. Whatever you explain, really, you don't find it very hard. I've been to some schools where any simple thing you explain, even when you're asking questions, students just look at you. What do you do? But in Ombachi, you don't have to really struggle. The students know why they are there, and understanding anything is not a problem. That is in line with the class. Coming out, Ombachi is a different place.
Okay. In relation to the discipline aspect of it, within the 9 years, we have seen the school transforming, where we have not witnessed a lot of hurdles where we can say this could actually really cost the school. Maybe in the last, that is maybe 2 years after that is actually when they got banned from sports, which was actually to me something small, but where we did see also a life lost. And really, how are people doing it to see to it that the discipline cases of this school is actually upgraded? And we see now the boys becoming disciplined, and that is actually one reason that could be a manifestation in the recently released UC examinations. How are people doing it?
Thank you very much. It's a simple thing, and again complex. You just have to use psychology really to manage the students. If you're going to be so strict on rules and regulations, that's where you're going to break things down. Now, one thing as a teacher, first discipline management is know the students by their names. When a student is doing something bad and you call that student, automatically the person will know that, is that how much they know about me? Somehow you find them being really, really composed. So knowing the students by themselves, and then also living exemplary lives. What is it that you're doing? You want the students to do something. What about you as an individual? Are you doing it? You're telling them, don't take alcohol. What about you? We are not saying that at our level, we should really stop somebody from doing that. But if you do it in the presence of the students, you're going to get problems. And then, as a school, or as administration, what we are doing is, we have the isolation policy. You know, students are normally very stubborn when they are in a group. But you isolate one, that's where you're going to see a very big difference. Whenever we get somebody doing something wrong, especially where you've been warned 3 or more times, you isolate such a person. You send the person home, or just ask the person to change environment. So once you begin doing that, you find automatically others begin to what? Others begin to fear. So that is one thing that we are really doing. We don't compromise on issues of discipline. The rules and regulation clearly stipulates it that once you're caught doing A, B, C, D, the penalty is A, B, C, D. So that is what we do. We don't tolerate so many wrong things there. But we want to believe, also being a holy place, what do I mean? There are holy people who have passed there. For example, we have Bernardo Sartori, who is now blessed, who passed there and also died there. So somehow, the religious environment alone also makes students fear. How is that one manifested? When there are issues like the last strike that we had, students all went and took refuge in the church. And no part of the church was destroyed. When all the glasses on the compound were down, the church remained intact. That one also shows the respect that they have for God. Then our daily masses also, where the priests continue to emphasize discipline issues and all that. I think that one has really contributed a lot. And then besides, this motto that we have, first among equals. The students say, people can defeat us in other areas, but in academics, they must not defeat us. So how can we maintain being first among equals, especially in issues of academics? That's why when it is time for classes, you go on the compound, very quiet. Time for exams, students are very quiet. They are very organized. You are like, are these the students that people talk about? So inside there, when students mean business, they mean their what? Their business. And then, issues of discipline, it needs teamwork. as a school, we have been working as a team. You don't leave it to one person, like the head teacher or one particular teacher who is in charge of what? Discipline. No. Everybody has to do it. Whether you're a teacher, you are not a teacher, but you're working there. And then we also involve other stakeholders, the community around. When you see something wrong, you have the right to discipline a child. Or if you don't do it, you can come over to the administration and then report such a case. And then we also have parents whom we have involved in the whole thing. How do we do this?
You know,
we make sure
we are currently living in a society where some parents think their children belong to them alone. And where in the disciplining of a child becomes very, very unrealistic. I don't know what does that really mean, and how is this contributing to this kind of indiscipline that we have among the learners today. Because really, if you look at what some of the learners are doing, the issues of drug abuse and really escaping out of school, you realize that if community was really supposed to also do that, you would realize that some of these learners would actually fear for their punishments and by these community members. How is this contributing maybe to what is happening? It could not be happening within the boarding section children, but really those within the day section. And how can parents also really ensure that the children at one time also really upheld their discipline in terms of communal punishment?
Thank you. I want to start from where I'd actually left. The key stakeholders in enforcing discipline in the schools. Parents. We have programs for what? For parents. We have parental seminars. We have meetings which are organized according to classes. We cannot organize meeting for the whole school unless it is AGM. If it is not AGM, we invite parents according to classes. So that will really give you that attention. After the meeting, you're supposed to interact with the parent, the child, and the class teacher. So that one helps us know these students better. And some parents are open. They will tell you, this child of mine is ABCD. You try to handle the child in this area. Parents have helped us. And I must say, some parents are actually responsible for some of the behaviors that we get in the schools. For example, the child has done something wrong, a parent is called. Instead of the parent saying, my child, you've done wrong. Why can't you do ABCD? You find the parent begins to insult you when you're there for the disciplinary committee. And then, sorry to say this, at one point, we actually had a parent who started a fight with the child right in our presence. So what does that imply? Meaning, for them, it is a normal thing, even from home, to fight. And this child had what? Had fought. So we face a lot of challenges. Actually, yeah. So
within these years of teaching, I do understand that you must have gone through some experience. Maybe how is the experience like? Do you regret being a teacher or becoming a teacher at one time? Or it is the career that you chose?
I've never regretted. Actually, that is one area where I feel very, very happy. Even when I go to class, the students know that I teach with passion. When other people are complaining, other teachers are complaining that our students have not come to my class, or I had a few students and all that, all my students, all for me it is really a pride. All of them make sure that they must attend my lessons. For me, that gives me fulfillment. It makes me very, very happy. And when I don't go to class, I really feel I don't feel at peace. I don't feel at peace within myself.
And how do you achieve that? That aspect of children not wanting to even miss your lesson. How do you do it? Because some teachers may not be having that, maybe that courage or that special thing that God has given in terms of also attracting learners, because really it is hard. Some students may not want to go to class due to some reasons, and others also may want to attend your lesson even if they are not taking that subject. How do you do it? Maybe what is that special thing that you do to these learners such that they do not want to really miss lessons?
When these learners are in class, they are not only for academic issues. You make them feel that they are very important. Attend to individual needs. If somebody comes to class and the person is moody today, my friend, you try to cheer the person up. For me, these are the strategies that I use. Just telling them that everybody is important. You're not going to say that, you know what, you're very important and all this. No. You make, just creating that atmosphere, conducive atmosphere. And then when we're instructing, we don't have to put on hard faces. No. Putting on a hard face actually scares these what? These learners. I think that is why it is equally very important to have a mother or a woman who is a teacher. For me, I've taken it, when I'm teaching them, it's like I'm teaching my own child. And I teach them with a lot of love. They see it. They are very sensitive. And one thing you also have to do is mastery of the content that you're going to teach. Once they know that you know what you are doing, you know what you're teaching, you win their confidence. Okay. And then, of course, you have to spice the teaching with the, don't only be content-oriented. You bring some life examples in and all that. Tell them some bit of stories, but you have to balance it very well. Your stories should not take a lot of time. The stories should be related to what they're learning. Like for me who teaches geography, there's a lot that I can get from what? From the environment. A lot of examples. Tell them those things which are practical. And then sometimes you also bring in life experiences. What could you be going through and all this? And you tell them maybe your personal experience or something that you've watched on TV and all that. That makes the lessons very interesting. But if you're always content-oriented, blah, 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 at the end of it, you move out, you don't even feel that you have done something important. All the students mean a lot to you. Even when you're there, just master all the names.
Okay.
So and so, so and so. You call them by their names. You feel, they just feel at home that they are valued. Even those ones who feel at home, they are not valued. Here, they will feel that so and so values me so much. And that is how students pass.
That is very, very important. Very, very important to actually, for maybe the teachers to also take this from that. They can really pick a leaf from that. But really also it's at scenarios where you have over 1,000 children. Because really I do not know if at aerobic you are doing the same. Because on Bachi you realize that the population is not even more than 800. They are about, I don't know how many they are now. Because by the time I was there, at least we were around 700 students. I don't know how the population is now, but really when it comes to, that's the managerial level now, you must be doing also a lot to really bring all these stakeholders together. Because you have to relate well with the teachers, you have to relate with the staffs, and really also the students themselves. Maybe what is the biggest strength that you see in you that is really making you progress through all this?
Being friendly to all these. More so, being friendly to the students. They tell me a lot. And they know that even if they tell me the dirtiest part, I will help them, okay? I'm not going to take it because I'm in the disciplinary committee that, so and so, do you know what? Yesterday you told me ABCD. They know that I'm not going to share it with anybody, but rather I help them out of it. So that friendly environment with the students, with the non-teaching staff, with the teaching staff, for me that is the biggest strength that I have. And every day, the moment I open the office like this, one person after the other, you find students coming in, staff coming in. That is the life that I lead. For me, that is the biggest strength that I have, being friendly to everyone on the compound. And this also helps to what? Iron out issues of indiscipline. If some people are planning, some students are planning something very funny, you find somebody comes and tells her, Madam, do you know what? You have to do something. I'm hearing A, B, C, D happening. And then the students also help you.
Do you protect these students?
Yes.
Okay.
We have to protect them.
Okay.
Yeah, the other students, they should not really know that the information is coming from you. We protect them.
Okay.
Once they get to know again, it is a problem. Yeah.
You know, Mbachi is one school that has influence of the OBs. One of the schools that I've actually known where the OBs want to know about the affairs of the school is actually this school. And we have seen them doing a lot in terms of now putting up developmental structures at these schools, where we are seeing them now doing the refectory, which is the dining hall. We have seen them upgrading that and other structures. We've also seen them often talking to these learners really here. And maybe how is this impacting on the restoration of the academic glory of this school? Are we seeing progress of it?
Yes, yes, yes. A lot of progress. Actually, we have given them Fridays and Saturdays where the old boys come and talk to the students on various areas. Academics, they also give their own examples. We invite old boys who are really influential There are some few who might not have a lot of influence really, but we have doctors, engineers, journalists, all these. We invite them. They come and talk to the students. I think this one has really impacted a lot on the discipline and academic performance of the students. The old boys also give half bursaries to the best students annually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they do. It also gives the students courage to continue with their academics. Okay. They are really doing a lot. We appreciate the work that they do for the school. Apart from renovating the factory and other projects, they are doing a lot.
Okay, that means that you cannot really underscore the efforts of the OBs in the restoration of this academic glory, which has been there for about, I don't know how many years. I think more than 10 years efforts have been put, that is, the restoration of this academic glory. And maybe it is really yielding a lot. And then maybe what message do you have for the public that still has that negative stereotype? You know, we have parents that really do not want to also really take their children to school now. Not only to Ombachi, we are not talking on behalf of all the parents. More so, they feel the girl child is still something that they need to really also and not treasure very much. And we are seeing the girl child. We're not talking about this. Ombachi is a boys' school, but really we also have to talk about the girl child, who is actually most vulnerable when it comes to early marriages and other cases also, where parents sometimes do not want to take these children to school. What message maybe do you have for such parents who still do not value education? Because really education is something.
Thank you very much. Actually, that's one thing that I've been contemplating about. All these years, for me, I always tell the parents when they come for meetings that it seems the boy child has been neglected. Why do I say that? When students have just come to senior 1, you find, like we have visitation days, very many parents come. You go to senior 6, how many parents come during VDs? Very few parents come. And then you go to a girls' school, whether you're in, even up to campus, you find parents what? Visiting the girl child. What about the boy child? Now we are talking of issues on the what? Issues that are happening. And most of these things, taking drugs and all that, we are looking at the boy child actually behind all this. Because the boy child has been neglected for long. We have just neglected the boy child. And now, once the boy child does not develop well, it is going to affect the girl child. By the way, the boy child in future marries the what? The girl. Now we are modeling the girls very well to be good wives. What about the husbands?
But we also have scenarios where parents give more attention to these boys. Most in some families, I can really testify to you, you can really look at it from our settings.
Yes.
Boy child can be taken to boarding, but the girl child has to be home. The reason is has to take care of domestic work. And at the end of the day, results are not matching. You see the boy is really performing sometimes more than the girl child.
I cannot rule that out. But naturally, because of that experience, the boy child is a fighter. You have to fight for yourself. Now, the scenario that you're bringing, it happens mostly in our rural areas, where people still do not value education for the girl child. It is true. Actually, the girl is left at home to take care of the siblings, and then they say, let the boy go. That ideology is still there, that girls are not supposed to go to school, which is not true. We have seen in our world today that actually a lot of transformation comes from the women. So when these women are not taken to some level, they cannot do much. So I really pray that people come to understand why it is very important to educate the girl child. But for an ordinary person in the village, really, to convince the person, that is the hardest thing that can ever happen. Today we are, I am what I am, because my father saw value in the girl child, and he educated all of us. He treated everyone equally, whether a man, a woman, a boy, a girl, everybody was given the same opportunity. So I just want to invite a parent in the village there, somebody who is not seeing value in the education of the child, of the girl child, to really come up and support the girl child. I still want to go back to how the boy child has been neglected. It is a very serious issue. If we don't help the boy child right now, in the near future, less than 5 years, we are going to get a society which is going to get so much involved in so many crimes. Let's focus on both. Whether girl, whether boy, these are people who can transform the society equally. So we should focus on both. I'm inviting the parents out there to treat everyone equally. Whether girl, boy, they are all equal. And they can perform everything the same. Though there are some other activities where, for us women, we might not get so much involved because it takes a lot of energy. But when it comes to using the brain, we can do the same thing.
Yes, I really do understand that when interacting with these boys, we really realize that these boys also have their needs. But in most cases, parents, I think most of the resources need to go to the girl child more than the boy child. More so, we do understand the girls also really have their own challenges, their own needs. Unlike the boy child, really, if you are to really also be in this school, you realize that most of these boys actually do not want to be visited. They would rather prefer them actually be sent these small things, maybe food, maybe these small edibles. How can such things really also pull off these learners away from concentration? Is it really also impacting on such visits, like when they're not often done? Do they really contribute to this child's academic performance, maybe in terms of them passing well or failing?
It depends. It really depends. Sometimes, when they are also over-visited, now look at the side of the girl. You brought so many things, and these things are going to distract you. For example, I'm feeling hungry, I'm in class. Yet I know I have something in the dormitory, something that I can eat. My mind will always be on what I have in the dormitory. Sometimes it distracts, yet sometimes it is very necessary. For example, the boy child basically just needs the what? The basics. Soap, whether bathing or bath, for them they don't mind. So long as there's soap, some bit of sugar. There are those ones who use smearing oil. Very few things. So long as those things are there for them, life has to go on. So long as there's food at school. And you find such a person concentrates a lot. At the same time, if you don't take care of these needs, that is now where we're going to get cases of theft. The boy wants soap. You have not provided. Or you gave one bar to complete the whole term. How is that possible? The person is going to steal from the neighbor. So it is two-way. It is really two-way. But once... You
know, why I ask this question, sometimes some parents feel the boy child can survive through all the odds. That is why they do not really also give enough money for these children here. And I believe this must also really be having its own negative repercussions on this child's discipline while at school. As you talked about theft, and I really also believe this could also really be contributing to their maybe concentration levels in class. And at the end of the day, I believe this could also really be contributing either for their great passing or towards their failure also. Could that really, can we underscore that aspect of really parents also giving the necessities to the boy child? Because you talked about the boy child really being neglected sometimes more than the girl child. If you look at all these efforts, they go towards the girl child. All of them go through. Even if you look at what government is pushing out, you realize that most of these government initiatives that are enrolled to really ensure that the students remain in school, most of them concentrate mostly on the girl child and the boy's child. Maybe could that be also one reason as to why we are seeing the boy child now very much engaged in drug abuse and also them dropping out of school?
There are so many causes for the drug abuse and all that. I don't want to underscore the need to provide basics for the children, whether boy or girl. But the truth is, the budget of the boy child is very small. Really, it's not much. You find somebody is comfortable with 100,000, buys almost everything, even 50,000. But on the side of the girl, it is the opposite. And as I said, the basics, very, very important. I've interacted with students where you find even the basics are not there. One time there was this boy who was always dirty. I picked interest in him to find out what the problem was. This was a neglected child at home. The father had married another woman, and this boy grew up literally with the grandmother, did not even stay with the father. So the father did not mind about his needs. And when he was telling me his story, just shedding tears, I felt very bad for him until I told him, next time if you have any issue, my office is always open. So that is how I got close to the boy. With the time he started becoming clean, smart. Sometimes when he puts on a tie with a white shirt, I congratulate him. You see that? I put a smile on his face just by giving a small basic. What was that? Soap. So for the boys, so long as the basic is there, this boy will perform very well. But where the basic is not there, I can assure you, it affects performance.
Okay.
It does. Because you're going to think, now where am I going to get this one? Where will I get it? You're in class, but you're not concentrating. Sometimes you also start thinking, maybe my parents have abandoned me. Okay. You cannot control what somebody really feels and thinks. So that one has a lot of influence on that. And on the side of the girl child, sometimes even with all these that are given, still does not perform well. So where could the problem be? Other factors, we cannot rule out other factors that are responsible for poor performance. Drug addiction, you talked about it. When you take drugs, it actually impairs your reasoning. You cannot really do anything profitable. You cannot do anything much. Apart from that, we have peer influence. You are in this group of girls or this group of boys who are really not so much interested in academics. They are not. For them, it is the social life, which is very important. Why do people sneak from schools? Because they want to go and enjoy life outside. Can you imagine somebody reports to school today, and tomorrow the person is suspended because of outing? What does that mean? Everything is here, the person has just come with everything, but the person is enjoying life outside. So most of the crimes that our students commit, they actually commit as groups, not as individuals.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, dear viewer, we are 3 minutes after 8 a.m. Really, I want to welcome you from wherever you are watching us from, and I really want to thank you for those who have dropped your comments, watching us, that is across the various social media platforms. For those of you catching us, that is on Facebook, we say thank you so much. You can also really drop your comments there and see how best we can really also pick a leaf from our today's guest. And remember, as I told you earlier on, this week we shall all be having guests who are female. And this is because on 8th we are celebrating, that is the Women's Day, and really we also have to celebrate women. And these are women of influence in their societies. And really, in education today we did, that is select Juliet, and she is actually the deputy head teacher of St. Joseph's College, Ombati, one of the greatest schools in this region. And for those of you who come from this region, you must actually be knowing this school now, and you really have to also know why we chose her, and really how she has transformed the school. And I believe that is also really due to collective efforts, and she will also still be sharing us more and really how she's doing it. Because if you are really to look at the discipline of this school has gone up, and we also do understand that very soon we are going to be witnessing them bouncing back, that is in the football tournament. And this is where we have also oftentimes seen challenges. I don't know how they are prepared as a school to also really tell us maybe how they are prepared to really ensure that the discipline maybe is maintained also during this period there. But for now, let me first run in for a short commercial break, and when we return back, we still have maybe some few minutes to also really discuss with her as she throws more light on that is the issue of the discipline among the learners. Thank you so much.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back. In case you're just joining us right now, you're most welcome aboard. And in case you started it right from the time it began, I also want to say thank you so much. And really, we are here to continue with the discussion. Up the hour of that is 9 a.m. I still do have, that is Madam Ajiko Judith, and she is the Deputy Head Teacher of St. John's College Ombachi, and we are just having a normal interaction. Really, I also hope you are enjoying the discussion as to our experience that is with the school, and really also how she is transforming the life of the school, and really you can really realize that the school is itself is transforming that in terms of development, in terms of performance. You realize that there's a lot of change, and I do believe this is something that she's not doing alone, and she will also really be telling us more as to how she is doing this. And remember now, we can really see that most of the schools are now preparing for sports, and this is actually the period where we have witnessed students of St. John's College Ombachi going rowdy, and this is also where we have seen them becoming very much unruly. So I think she will also really be telling us of maybe some of the strategies as to how they are really going to also really ensure that this does not go out of time, because out of hand, as we have always witnessed over time during sports period, this is where we witness indiscipline cases among these learners. And really, how prepared are you for the sports period, because this is actually one period where you witness a lot of indiscipline among these learners?
Thank you. Ombachi is getting back on stage. Remember, the school was banned not by the ministry, not by any other person. It was by the parents. The suggestion was made by them, which eventually the board gave into. It was again because of sports, where we lost a student who was beaten out there by unknown people, died, and made the students to do a lot of destruction in the staff quarters, on the school compound, so many other things. So the parents, they felt that pinch of putting back the structures that were destroyed. And they said the school should be banned, at least for a period of, others said 3, others said 5, but eventually we zeroed on 5 years, that the students will be out of sports for that number of years. And looking at the fact that our ministry is the Ministry of Education and Sports, said, how long are we going to keep these students waiting? And the students were not happy with the decision, but somehow they gave in. There was nothing they could do. And then after some time back, they said, no, we cannot continue like this. Why can't we talk to the administration so that we start the sports? They came to us, said, you have to convince us. So they wrote a letter, how they are ready to abide by rules and regulations. They really tried to convince the administration. So as administrators, there was a meeting which was organized, the Board of Governors meeting. So in that meeting, we presented the letter that the students wrote about getting back into sports. So the board said, okay, we are also going to set our rules that the students have to follow. If they can convince us, we don't have any problem. So the fact that they are coming back, I must tell you, very many people are scared. Yet others still say, sports without Ombachi is not sports.
It's not sports.
They have not been enjoying.
That is usually what they say.
They have not been enjoying. So there are mixed feelings out there. Others are happy, the boys are back on board. Others are not happy because they're trying to look at the negative side.
My worry is those students who left on discipline grounds. How are you? What are some of the strategies that you're laying maybe to also ensure that these boys who left on discipline grounds do not come and really also disorganize these ones who are still yet with the school? Because that is one challenge I've often witnessed that has been contributing to this behavior that we are talking about.
Okay. Before I move to that, what normally causes the problems? I've been attending this football and all that, the matches, myself. But I would go briefly, then move back. What I've seen actually causes these issues, like among one of the last, somebody from nowhere decided to throw out a stone in the middle of our students. Then the students said, hey, okay, so it is like that. Their problem is revenge. They don't start, but once you start, be ready to finish it with them. So this person threw a stone. That is where now students started reacting. They started rioting. Normally, these students, if you don't touch them, they are not bad. But the moment you touch them, yes, whether you like it or not, they are going to revenge. That is where the problem is. We have put, as I said, we have put a number of strategies that are going to help us. Apart from giving them the rules and regulations, what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do, as administration, there are things that we have put in place. One, we are going to work as a team. We are not, as usual, we are not just going to send a few number of teachers to accompany the students. We are saying all the teachers must be involved. When the students go to the field, let's follow them and we'll be with them. That is one strategy that we have put. And then secondly, we are going to involve the police to accompany the students. From school up to the ground where they're going to play, there they're going to be fully guarded so that nobody really hurts them from out.
Are you still taking them to Odramachaku border, like how you have always been taking them out of the town?
Well, the fixtures have not yet come, but of course this time it is going to be within the city.
Okay.
Remember, Mbachi is now in the city, not in the district. So it is going to be within the city. I want to believe that we are not going to move very far. Like where we had the Ochoko massacre, that's how they called it, where they had some issues there. So with the police, we are very confident that everything is going to move on well. Besides, of course, the student leaders will keep informing us on what is going on, whether the students have some data plans and all that. So that communication, we want to make it very clear. We are giving them airtime and all that, so that we are really in touch. And then to motivate the teachers, we are telling them, you go. At the end of the day, you have some kitu kidogo. Let's all do the work. Sometimes you need to motivate the human resource. Otherwise, they can also let you down. So we have agreed to work as a team, right from top to bottom. And then these students who might come to disorganize, we cannot have control over that. It is only the security that is going to help us. Some of them will even come in uniform, by the way. They will put on the school uniform with a badge that we are students of St. Joseph's College, Ombati. But the truth is, we know how our students appear. They come in uniform, then they want to disorganize the whole thing. You find them starting a fight with Mvara, with the raw public and all that. Then they say students of St. Joseph's College, Ombati. Yet these are people who have left. There's that high tendency, really. That one we cannot rule it out. That's why we have said, let the police come in, and then the teachers who know the students, let them also be around to identify and isolate these cases. Once we land on one, then we hand this one over to the police. And the marches continue.
Okay.
And we really want to believe that this time, everything is going to move on well. So long as we are not incited by people from outside.
So all these strategies are to maintain discipline. And then with this discipline, maybe I want to see where Ombachu will be in 5 years with you still, and then the rest of the administration that is in place. I do understand that the current head teacher is actually an OB of the school, maybe who also understands the environment very well, plus so many teachers who are old boys. Where do you see the school in the next 5 years?
Now, just a point of correction, the head teacher is not an old boy of the school, though he grew up in the staff quarters. Okay. He's an old boy of St. Charles Luanga. For me, where I'm seeing the school from now is, in academics, we're improving every year. Okay. Our national position keeps on improving. In the 5 years, really, we should be below the position of 50. And academic achievement comes with discipline. So if there's an improvement there, automatically there also has to be improvement in the discipline. Today, we have been celebrating simply because the students performed well, and it moves back to the discipline that the students have. Once they are disciplined, and they already know why they are there, they are going to focus on the academics. So for me, I'm just seeing a very great and bright future for the school. And it comes back to the administration and the staff. People are getting more and more united, actually work as a team. In administration, work as a team. There's nothing I'm going to do without consulting the head teacher, my other colleagues. So that is the way to go. Okay. And I can assure you, everything is going to be very fine. Okay. Much as we are talking negatively, but their parents who still value the school, people want to bring their children there.
That is actually what I was coming to. Maybe what message do you have for those people who still negatively think about the school? I don't understand parents from this region. There are some parents who cannot really want to take their child to Ombachi or any other school. Most of these single schools that we have in place, some of them do not actually believe that they can actually take their children there and they progress maybe in terms of discipline or academics. What message do you have for such parents who still fail? You know, we are still grappling in this region. One of the attributes, one of the factors that was actually attributed to the failure that once in primary leaving examination was the fact that some of the parents actually prefer taking their children away from this region to go and study in the other parts of the region. And that is actually something that has been raised as a concern, that really when these children also go there, you see them performing, and then they are the bright students, and they are the ones who have performed very well leaving our schools here. Maybe what message do you have for parents who still do not believe in our schools and still do not trust our schools, not only on Mbati, but the rest of the schools now? That
is true. We still have that negative attitude. You know, for me, what I can say is, don't believe in the Ombachi which is out there. You come inside and believe for yourself. The results tell it all. Now, our schools in Arua provide quality education. Talk of Mvara, talk of Ombachi, talk of Ediofe, talk of Muni. The teachers really teach. But now, if parents already have the negative attitude, what about the students? Do you think they can believe that they can pass? That is one thing that is killing us. Your parents don't believe, or you find in a family, the children are divided. Others are in Kampala, and then others are here in Arua. What will they feel? That the other one is going to perform better than what? Better than me. The parents have already segregated, and the students feel, for us here, we're going to fail. Yet, in really sense, we provide quality education. You might not see it here. You go to campus. You will see a very clear difference between you and somebody who has studied from Kampala, let me tell you. Very clear distinction. So really people should not go and spend a lot of money out there. Yet it is the same quality education that we give in Arua. Why do you have to go that side? Personally, I don't think I can even send my child to Kampala. They have to study from Arua. How can I be teaching other people's children? And then mine that is being taught by somebody else. So that negative attitude about our schools, for me that is wrong. If we can change that, instead let's promote our schools here. Like here, we are charging school fees. For example, in Ombachi we are paying 840 right now, 840. And the parents are saying, this school fee is too much. Yet somebody is paying 3 million where? In Kampala. If this 3 million is paid here, we improve the lives of the teachers. They'll even make the students perform much, much better. So let's come back home and improve on our own education systems here than taking money to people out there. What I know basically with the private schools where our people are, they're not taking them to government schools. They're taking them to private schools. What they're after is the performance. Nothing else. So they don't look at that holistic education of the person. For us, we look at a person as a whole. Spiritually, physically, education-wise, we want to train a complete person. And I want to believe that is one thing with almost all the schools that we have here, apart from the private. I don't know much about the private, but for us, that is our focus. That's why if you go to the schools now, how many schools have playgrounds? They are not seeing importance of having sports. But for a complete transformation, a complete change.
But could sports be used as a component maybe of keeping these learners in school?
Yes.
Does it play a role?
A lot. It does a lot. It does a lot. There are students who have said, like when the school was banned, they wanted to come to Ombachi, but they said, because there's no sports in Ombachi, we cannot go. We lost the students, by the way, as a result of that. And then, secondly, most of the problems that we have actually generate as a result of students not being allowed to participate in sports. Leave alone watching, I don't know, Liverpool, Man U and all that. Those ones are also there. So there are people who are talented in sports. Where there's no sports, you cannot really retain them there. They'll have to move elsewhere where they can find the sporting activities.
Okay.
It plays a very big role.
Okay.
That is why it is Ministry of Education and Sports. That one plays a very big role. We cannot rule it out. No, we can't.
You know, the aspect of that is sports in this curriculum, I believe if Ministry of Education and Sports would also really incorporate it as, we have seen it now, physical education, but really I feel it's still not too much of it being implemented, because some of these learners may be having talent that could really be maybe identified right from the schools, and then they start getting a training from there, which we have seen, but really not on a large scale. And then that would also really be a source of employment to these learners, really. There's somebody asking here, saying, do you have any regret of becoming a teacher? And this is, I think, some question I asked earlier on. And then maybe if I can be able to polish to that question here. And
yes.
Then what is that greatest feeling that you have had ever since you became a teacher? Is there anything that excites you of being a teacher?
For me, ever since I stepped the class like this, I've been the happiest.
Okay.
It gives me that complete joy. You know, bringing up a child. I think a teacher is one person who wishes the best for his or for our clients. Coffin makers will look at, you know, the value of people who die because they're going to bring them business. But a teacher's pride is seeing your product. Like now, I'm very happy I have one of my children here. I was very happy to interact with him. That is the pride of a teacher. You always want the best for your children. I've never regretted any single time. Though when I was just starting my training, I always had it at the back of my mind that I must become a teacher. But
I was
somewhere,
actually going to come that if you're not to become a teacher, what would you really want to become?
no, I would still become a teacher.
Okay.
For me, it has always been in my mind, I must become a teacher. And I made sure that was the course that I did. So first year, I always had that fear. What will happen when I enter class? So when I started my school practice, then I realized, so this thing is manageable. And I was, you know, each time I interacted with the students, I was more happy. Said, I think I'm in the right place. So since then, I've never regretted. I'm an arts teacher, yes.
Okay.
Much as people are saying science teachers are more this and
more.
that, they are paid more. For me, I'm looking at the value. What is it that I'm getting? Interacting with these young, with the students or with the young, actually keeps us more younger. Eh?
Okay.
For me, life has been balanced because I'm interacting with the students. And there's a lot that we learn from them. A teacher is not only impacting knowledge, but there's a lot that we learn from the learners. Though there are challenges, those challenges are part of life. For example, in today's world, you must be IT compliant. Like our school there, the students will even be in that area. You have to move with them. If technology is involved, get involved.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, career guidance is some aspect that is lacking very much. That is most of our schools. That is within West Nile sub-region. What message do you have for that learner, maybe who is looking up at some career path that he or she wants to undertake? How can they ensure that they achieve, maybe attain that dream of what they want to become? Just like you said, you have always wanted to become a teacher, and indeed you have become the teacher that you wanted. What can they do? Maybe what magic can they do to also really attain the dream, just like what you did? Now,
What the learners become, or what the students become, sometimes it is their own making or their feeling, but sometimes you find the parents also play a lot of role in that. But at the end of it all, how do I feel? Even if my father is telling me, let me become a doctor, is that really the right path for me? So deep inside you, you have to be convinced with what you're doing. What do I want to become? If I want to become a teacher, is it going to make me happy? So you look at how you're going to serve the society. Is it going to make you happy? Is it something that is going to make you sad? You look at your own
happiness.
Your own happiness, that is one. 2, look at the needs of the society. You want to become a nurse because you've seen people suffering in your what? In your village or in your area. I think that is not bad. Because teaching is a call from God. If you're not called in that profession, there's nothing much you can do. And just like any other profession, all these professions are a call from God. But where it is not a call, you'll always cause a lot of distraction. For example, you were forced to become a teacher. You've seen in schools where some people are sad. They're in class, but they are sad. That is where now students even run away. Yeah? You're putting on a hard face. You hate somebody from nowhere. Really. Those are the people who actually discourage the children from becoming what? From becoming teachers. You have your personal conviction. What do I want to do? Is that the best way I'm going to serve the community? We're all called to serve. Whatever profession that we have, we are called to serve. Is that the best way that I'm going to what? Serve the community? All these professions have their own challenges. But the challenges are not there to discourage us. For example, ours is what? The pay. Others are paid more than the others. But you look at it as a service that you're providing. Is it making you sad? If it is making you sad, maybe then you're in the wrong place. But it is a call to service. We believe that even if it is little, God will
find your ways through.
Yeah, God will reward you.
Okay.
That is what we believe so much as Christians. But all the same, if it is a call, you have to learn to sacrifice.
Surely.
It's a service.
And,
You will always succeed.
time cannot allow us to continue with discussion. We are just remaining with about 2 minutes, and then maybe if you can really also summarize maybe your last words on maybe what advice maybe you have for the learners, to the parents out there, and then for those who still look at teaching career as something that they really do not want to become, because really we are living in an era where some people do not want to become teachers because of the pay. Maybe for the arts teachers also, the primary teachers also complaining the same. That is one thing. Also we have seen maybe some teachers running out from the profession, more so those in primary section who have actually now abandoned teaching career. They have resorted to other activities such as border riding and other activities which today maybe could be generating for them quick money. What message do you have for that learner, that young one who is looking up to becoming a teacher and really is already developing these fears? Maybe also your last words, maybe to the rest of the viewers now.
Thank you very much. Teaching is the best profession. When you want to become a teacher, don't look at so much the aspect of money. You look at humanity, the people that you're going to handle. That should be the motivation. If you're going to become a teacher because, like now, I'm sure everyone, or people outside there, people want to become science teachers. But if you're not gifted in sciences, don't force yourself. You can take any other discipline, you can be in humanities. There's no problem. You can still become a teacher. But then what you have to know is, not only for teachers, like any other profession, don't get satisfied with the money that you have, the salary. It's not all about the salary. You've seen teachers who are doing very, very well. They're doing well. But what are they doing? They are supplementing their salaries with other activities. Others have serious farms. Others have serious businesses and all that. Know how to supplement the money that you have. Don't rely so much on salary. What if the salary leaves you? How is your life going to be? And then to my parents out there, please, let's not move very far to look for education. The same syllabus they're using in Kampala, in other places, it is the same syllabus that we follow in our region. And for us, it is more practical. By the way, it is easier for learners to understand areas within their own district than areas that are actually outside. Yeah. So it is the same thing. Let's come together and try to promote education in our own setting. And then back to the parents, let's not discriminate these learners, whether a girl child, a boy child, because in the long run, the other one will also have influence on the other. You want your girl to marry a very good boy. Now, where is that husband going to come from? Okay. Yeah. Okay, maybe finally, if I can be able to ask before I let go of you, this is Women's Month. Already we shall be celebrating, that is Women's Day on the 8th, which happens to be on Friday. Maybe what message do you have for the women out there as our final word to the women in particular now? Okay. Thank you. I think for us women, let's try to understand this day very well. Many times you find some women think now they're independent, they're ABCD. No. We are still women. When you are in the work environment, do your role very well. When you are at home, you are a wife, don't fight with your man. You're still a woman. You have your roles and responsibilities that you have to perform. In many cases, this is an area where actually domestic violence comes in. So you play your role as a woman. When you're in the field of work, you play your role. The work that has been given to you, you do it very well as a woman. So as we celebrate this day, let's not, it should not cause division in our families, but it should bring us together. But we have to know that there are some roles we can never perform as women, much as we are fighting for equal rights.
Women emancipation.
So there are some roles which we shall never, we need to accept the reality. Let's not fight with the men. They are there. Do your roles, let the men do theirs.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Achiko Juliet, for coming through and also share your views that is in relation to the Women's Day, because really within this week, as I said earlier on, we shall be hosting, we shall be hosting alone the female guests to also really come and share their experience with us, and we shall be picking from the different fields that we have in place to also really come and talk to you and share your views. So their views with you, the viewer, that to me is very, very important. And really today we did have her as the deputy head teacher of St. John's College, Jombachi, where she did tell us more about how she's really doing very much in terms of that is really also progressing in the school and really also making changes here and there. And we have already seen that manifesting, that is in terms of the academic results, and really that also really is quite good. And she also did really also question the women now to ensure that they abide by certain rules. They also really need to give respect to which to me is very, very important. And really sometimes women emancipation has become a problem, where certain women feel they can do everything that men can do. Really, there are limitations, I must say. There are certain things that women cannot do, rather it is men to do. And really with that we come to a closer of the discussion, but we still have, that is some few minutes to wind up with the show. But for now, please allow us to run in for a short commercial break as we come back with more topics to also let you know of.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023. West Nile TV, lighting up
the region.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. We are yet continuing with the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile TV, and really I must say it's a great pleasure having you on board. That is for the Monday edition of the show, and really from wherever you chose to watch us from, I say thank you so much. And really you can also really share your comments on what we are really discussing. And remember, the first hour we did have a discussion with, that is Madam Jiko Judith. She is the Deputy Head Teacher of St. Joseph's College Ombachi, and really within this week also we are going to be hosting women of influence, that is from different sectors. For instance, in education we shall be selecting one in politics, another one will also be coming in business, and really to also really come and share their views with us. And really we have understood that now women can do certain things that which we did not believe. And really today we started off, that is really in the education sector, and tomorrow we shall be having one in worship. And this is actually, we shall be hosting a preacher to also really share their opinions with us and what did they think and maybe how they feel being in that field. That's quite important. Now moving from that, really, we still have lots more to discuss. That is in relation to what is happening at the national scene. Recently, we did have a conflict going on that is between the National Unity Party, the National Unity Platform Party members, and this is between Matthias Mpuga, who has been asked to really step down as commissioner in Parliament by the party president, that is Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu. And in response to this, actually, we did see also recently Matthias Mpuga, the member of Parliament that is from Masakango, also replying back and saying actually he is not going to resign, and really for reasons which he actually stated clearly. And now Bobby Wine actually yesterday also came out to give out 10 reasons on why Mpuga must resign, and really also that is something that somebody I would maybe wanting to know. Really, I must say all these things are going to cost the National Unity Platform Party, and really we shall also really be letting you know of why that is happening. And the leader of National Unity Platform Party, that is Party President Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, has really also insisted that the former leader of opposition in Parliament has to resign. That is in relation to also the money that he has been accused of taking. And while appearing on one of the radios, that is CBS FM, that is yesterday, but one, Matthias Mpuga defended his actions, saying he has never been caught in a web of corruption, as Noop seems to purport. And he also described the decision to cut him as loose, as unilateral, saying the party's top organs didn't consider the material facts at hand. And Mr. Mpuga described the statement on that is he put on Friday, measured as sober, and adding that he took his time before that is offering a response. And accusations really have been levied against this member of Parliament. And the former leader of opposition in Parliament is accused of participating in a parliamentary commission meeting on that is May 6th of 2022, chaired by the Speaker of Parliament, that is Ms. Anita Mong, at which the commissioner was awarded themselves really 1.7 billion as one of the long service award, and the immediate past, that is leader opposition, was allocated shillings 500 million, while the other three others were awarded each 400 million shillings. And Noop argues that Mr. Mpuga should really have consulted before accepting it to the party's allocations, and really that is something also we are yet following up on that discussion. But really, I want to ask myself maybe where these discussions are put. This party that is actually the main leading opposition party in this country today. Where does this put that party at? That is something I really do not also really know now. But really, we are yet following up on that discussion, and really something also really that came shockingly is the arrest of the 5, or that is officials of Post Bank Arua branch, that is for allegedly stealing, that is 138 million from the bank. And really this is something that really we did see also really going out on there. And really, if you can maybe get, that is the police spokesperson for Western Sub-Region, Josephine Anguchia, to really also maybe give that story to us. That will be quite good. Let's first have a look at that story, and really also to let you know of what exactly happened and who exactly these people are. But you can really wonder how these top officials who working in this bank connived to really steal, that is 138 million, and really where that puts the bank at. And then definitely I must say it is something that which is going to scare away the clients, because once certain things happen of this nature start happening to the bank, then the clients really can also be pushed away, and really that is one reason also really these things need not to happen. But let's first get to listen to maybe also what Josephine Anguchia in that story is saying. It will be quite good.
The Territorial Police of Arua Central Division has detained 5 staffs of Post Bank Arua branch in Arua City following an allegation of theft of over 138 million shillings.
It's true that the Territorial Police of Arua Central Business Division have detained 5 staffs of Post Bank Arua branch in their custody following an allegation of theft of Post Bank money which has been put on them. The 5 who were arrested and detained at Arua Central Business Division custody are Lakweni Leonard, Operations Manager, Post Bank Branch Arua; Femi Walter, the Customs Service.
You know, corruption tendencies are really not good. So I think I also want to call upon each and everybody holding responsibility to really desist from certain of these activities. And really, being a weekend, so many things also happened. And one thing that we cannot really exclude out is the death of Mr. Ibu. And really, for those who really watch the Nigerian movies, and right from the time we were growing up, this man actually made our lives memorable. And really, you remember the Nigerian films that he did give us. Some of us, we actually could not afford to miss the movies because of his funny nature and really how he acted. And really, it was something exciting. And I must say, he made our childhood memories very colorful. And that is something also really we pray for, to God, to allow his soul rest in eternal peace. And really, that is something also really we have to pray for. And John Ikechukwu Okafo, really, who was born on that is 1962, really that was a March on 2nd, popularly known as Mr. Ibu, really actually passed on really after battling some long illness. And the news came out that is just over the weekend. And really, I believe for those who grew up watching these Nigerian movies, then definitely you must be knowing who Mr. Ibu is and how exactly he made our childhood memories very colorful with these Nigerian movies there, and the different styles of acting which really did please most of us, and we could not really afford to miss. And really, for those who know the lives of these video halls where we used to pass from, and whenever we saw a title that had Mr. Ibu around, when we had some picture of him just being on the poster, nobody would want to afford to miss that. And really, that is something we shall also really be missing him for. And that news actually came, and right on your screen, that is Mr. Ibu. For those who have really not known who exactly is, he's the gentleman on your screen, and really he did actually pass on over the weekend. And really, we continue for his soul to rest in eternal peace. And really, with that discussion, we come to a closer of today's discussion. That is for the Monday edition of the Kokoliriko live show. And we hope tomorrow we shall be bouncing for the same, and also let you know of what is happening in the world of current affairs. And today, we did have a woman, and that is something that is going to continue for the whole week, where we are going to be hosting female guests to also really come and share their experiences. And really, we shall be selecting them in different fields, and really to also really come and talk to you, the viewers. And maybe you could also pick a leaf from them. And remember, on 8th of that is March, that is when we shall be celebrating the Women's Day, which is actually on Friday, just some few days from now. So who is that woman you want to celebrate? Could it be your wife? Could it be your mother? Could it be your sister? Definitely you need to be part of this week, because we are giving it entirely to women. And really, with that, we come to the close of today's discussion. We thank you so much for those who shared your comments, and for those who watched us. We also really very much appreciate you. But for now, it's now time for me to step out, as I also pave way for the Lubarati News team, that is with Fatah Emmanuel. And also I want to thank my producer, that is the Zone Pro, and not forgetting the lady behind the camera, the only lady who is actually behind the camera, That is Madam Aita. I also want to thank you so much for being a part of the show. And really with that, we come to a close of today's discussion. Up next is the news bulletin in Lubarati. For now, I'm out. Till tomorrow.